So in this video, we're gonna be designing a bumper. My shipment of steel has come in. These things came with these big cardboard pieces, which is convenient because I forgot to save a bunch of cardboard to mock up a template. The bottom is the part that's cracked off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the bumper off. I'm gonna rebuild it with this steel. So I guess first things first, mount the bumper just so I can kind of get a basic idea of what kind of bottom part I'm gonna be working with. So I am looking at some body kits, and I really like something that looks like this. This one's also not bad, and I feel like it doesn't really follow the body lines. There's kind of like these curved sections. Don't really like that. That's kind of weird though. It doesn't really come out that wide. The only difficult part will be trying to bend the steel to look natural, but we will see for now. We have just mocked up where I need to cut on the bumper. I need to follow this little silver line here. The bumper has been cut, but now I can officially test the cardboard and see how it fits on it. I have just added this little lip here. This is not the splitter. The splitter is coming on top, or I guess underneath. Let's actually look at it like this. This is what the bumper's looking like so far. I'm really liking it. I gotta see if this is too low, because if I ever do lower the car, I don't want that dragging. So I ended up getting this steel, and it's 3/16 inches thick, and that is extremely thick, and it's really heavy. Just this single 1 foot by 4 foot sheet, it is 30 pounds alone. And pretty much I'm gonna be using an entire 1 foot by 4 foot sheet to make one section of the bumper. So that's already 30 pounds of weight on the front. So I've decided I'm gonna try to cut out as many vent holes as possible. I don't know how well this will cut. 3/16 steel, it's really thick. Let's hope that it all works out. Welcome back, everyone. Well, maybe it's welcome back for me, because the last clip you just saw was probably from about 2 months ago. Before we do the bumper, we are gonna put that whiteboard up on the wall. So, now that this is up, we can now write our first thing to do. The oil filter, no, not the oil filter, cooler. So last time around I tried to use the table saw, and it did not cut straight. It kind of like went to one side and then the other side went to the other. So I have this little like 1/2 inch offset. I'm actually cutting the other piece right now. So basically I'm gonna cut this section off and see if that can still fit as is. Otherwise I'm gonna have to go all the way down the line here. I still have to make one more cut and a few half cuts, and then we can start shaping this thing and welding all the seals together and seeing if it fits on the actual bumper itself. Oh shoot, it broke. And now I could skip the least. So guys, we're at the point where we're gonna connect the two pieces. So I got one right here, and the other one is right here. Basically, I need to figure out a way to weld these two together while also seeing that it's lined up with the bumper, which is gonna be kind of tough. We're gonna try to get the front bumper to hang right here, and then have the two bumper pieces kind of just below it. So I got this bumper suspended with some ropes hanging from some random points, and just so I can kind of line up the two bumper pieces. But what I pretty much realized is that along the top, it's not perfectly flush at the moment. I still have to grind it down. And I was hoping to do that after, but I think I have to do that first. So we finally got the two bumpers grinded down. It's not perfect, there's still gaps, but I'm gonna fill the rest with body filler anyway. It's not gonna look perfect right now, but it is very smoothened out, so there's no more like aggressive angles anymore. These seems to be pretty spot on, or as good as I can get it, to be honest. That's pretty all right too. I might commit to this and just weld it on. It's looking real good. From the inside, not so much. From the outside, I mean, not so much either, but it's coming together. It's been a while since I've seen it come together. So up next, I need to mount this to the bumper. I'm gonna use some hardware here and maybe just weld the plate directly here. Once I put the brackets, I need to check the fitment and see if my oil cooler can even fit here. So we got the bumper ready to be fit onto this thing. And basically what we're gonna check is how much space there is for the oil cooler. So, there is space, but only like a couple millimeters of like extra space. I think it'll fit. We got the oil cooler mounted with these brackets. It's looking all right so far. The only problem is this gap right here. Don't know how to resolve that. I could maybe drill these holes a little bit more offset so that I can lift this, but I can do that later. For now, this is mounted. I should probably test fit it. So I got the bumper. I can still hold it, which is good, but it's way heavier now. Obviously, it's got the oil cooler and the lower steel portion. So the oil cooler fits just like I suspected. It's coming together. So this lip will be cut from really thin, I think 18 gauge steel, which will be really easy to shape and really quick to cut. It's super important. And this splitter will be cut from this this plywood. Alright, so we're at the point where we got this splitter cut. It's got a pointy bit on the front. It's kind of how I just designed it. I think I'm going to get rid of that and I'm just going to flatten out the front because it looks kind of weird. It looks like the Batmobile with this pointy front. God damn. Alright, so back to it. I need to figure out a way to mount the splitter at a bunch of points. I may use these kinds of like square steel tubes. I think they'll fit a little better. Although they are heavier, but they should be way more durable. It is another beautiful day. You know what? I think I'm gonna switch cameras. All right, welcome back to good quality video. I got too comfortable and I started filming with the GoPro all the time because the GoPro is so easy to film with. I've cut some square steel tubing and now I can take these triangle bits and mount them on the top of this lip. So my dad helped me out and got some hardware for me, except I forgot to measure out how long they need to be. So they need to be way shorter, as you can tell. So I gotta cut them all off right here so that they can fit and tighten within this gap. Not sure if we can use this. We might have to figure out something else to put there. So, looks like it fits. Honestly, I guess I'm ready to start painting it. So pretty much back here, I'm gonna take some clear tarp and like hang them from these frames that I've set up earlier. So I'm gonna have a nice little indoor painting tent because there's no way I can paint outside. There's just way too many leaves falling, way too much dust outside. So the only problem with that is that I don't know if my car can fit in the entire tent. So we will have to find out. So I guess I, for the most part, completed the painting tent. It's not perfect, but it's enough to paint inside, and I'm not gonna ruin the rest of the garage. Yeah, so this is kind of the setup right now. It's got all the parts separately for now. This is really kind of just like a practice session for me. I need to test out everything that I'm doing. I got this this Rust-Oleum filler and sandable spray, so I think this should help. The metal bumper piece is going to be hit with this spray, and then it's going to be sanded down to be, you know, as smooth as I can get it to be. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. I'm in love, saying way too often. I can't play these games, think I'm switching up the offense. See me in LA, I'll be moving cautious. So the air compressor broke, so I can't paint anymore. So anyway, for now, I took the rear bumper off. So the rear bumper's on the floor right here, and this is the bumper that's got the cracked plastic bits. That's really cracked. So I have some plastic epoxy. I'm going to seal this up, and then I'm just going to get it ready to paint. But yeah, we're trying to see if we could fix this air compressor. It's like 30 years old. I think it's 40 years old, actually. 1982. Over 40 years ago. Well, I guess it's had a pretty good run. So I might get a new one, or we're going to try to fix this one. We shall see. I'm so exhausted. I'll be so exhausted. Whoa, I'll be so exhausted. I close my eyes, I see the vision. All this weed and got me lifted. Pour four, and then I finished tonight. I told my mama that I'm okay. I've made another executive decision to, instead of make half the garage like a painting tent, we are gonna convert the whole garage into one. So my car flooded a little. I disconnected the battery, and somehow the sunroof opened on its own, so I got it covered at the moment. There's a puddle of water in there, in here. The car did not start, so I had to push it out the driveway. We will see if it runs later today or tomorrow.